Well, last night I had the truck all packed up and ready to go for a day trip. Got up real early, got Scout in the car, made sure I had all my permits and everything I needed, and then the car wouldn't start. So I jumped it and got a check engine light and the auxiliary battery failure warning. So the truck's about 3 years old now. It's definitely out of warranty. So I'm going to replace the battery. I also saw that I'm just about due for an oil change. Yeah, and rather than taking it into a mechanic or the dealership, I figured I would just do it myself and show you guys how it's done if you haven't done an oil change before. It's all pretty simple and not that big of a deal. Surprisingly, I've never replaced a battery myself, and now because it has the regular battery plus the auxiliary battery, I worry it's a little more messy than just undoing the regular car battery and then putting in the new one, but I will learn as I go, I guess, and take you along for the ride. So yeah, instead of beautiful Sedona, I am at not as beautiful Costco. Costco at the week of Thanksgiving is a hard pass, but battery secured, oil secured. Head home and get it all put in. All right, so we've got 2 jobs to do. We need to get the oil changed and replace the primary battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the battery. I'm pretty confident with the oil change, but the battery is new to me. So I'll get started with that, see how far I can get, and then take care of the oil. A little bit dusty. I've got some stuff grounded. Work around it. All right, same thing for positive side. So the next part is to grab my light. Take out, you can kind of see it right there in the middle. We're gonna take out that brace and that screw right there. So the positive just took some muscle wiggle and pulling up. It wasn't connected at all, but that's how that comes off. Yeah, definitely think having something like the Voss switch, or I think an S-Pod is another brand that would just make this a lot easier. Installation instructions. Hire a professional. Putting it on the right. No, it was right. Righty tighty. It's like most electrical stuff, I'm just gonna do it in the opposite order that I undid it. I'm going to get all the positives situated and then handle the negatives. Again, I'm not very good with electrical things, but I'm assuming with something like the S-Pod or whatever, Voss switch, those boxes, I think you just connect the box itself to your battery, and then all of your things connect to that. What you get is that hole is for the screw, and then this block slides into these two plastic bits. Once I get the block lined up, it doesn't sit flat. And it's pushed up against the edge. Now I think we are good to carry on with the negative side, and hopefully we're done. Hopefully the car starts and you can move on to changing the oil. I think we're done. All right, let's see what happens. Hey! Oil change time. This is pretty simple and straightforward, but you need something to catch your oil, replace your oil. A funnel is helpful for getting the oil into the right spot. Some gloves. You need a replacement oil filter, and then some shop towels are helpful. All right, so under the car, this is where the oil is going to come out, and then so this is where you want to put your catch and open it. That would also be helpful. So I'll open that in a second. You'll move this bolt out, and you want to be careful when you're doing that. The oil is going to be under kind of a lot of pressure, so when it comes out, it'll come out toward you pretty good. So you want to make sure you move your catch, and then keep an eye on it while the oil's coming out, and you'll just kind of scoot the catch down, because as most of the oil drains out and it loses pressure, it will just start to drip straight down instead of shooting out at you. But yeah, you don't want your face anywhere. You want your face close to it. And just for reference, at least for my Gladiator, this is a 13mm bolt. Sometimes these can be really stuck on, and you might need to kind of hammer it a little bit, just until it comes finger loose. Just open it. Watch your fingers. Ugh. Okay, well, I'm glad I put the trash can down. If you open this and it's not dark or almost black, you open the wrong thing. So make sure that it's not red like transmission fluid or something, but make sure that you put that bolt back in before you pour new oil through the top, and we'll get that filter changed out in a second. But you want to make sure that this is nice and tight closed before you move on and add more oil, because if you add oil in the top, it's just gonna pour right out the bottom. Okay, so stop dripping, and I finger tighten the bolt. I'm also gonna wipe off as much of this oil as you can. Just keep it clean.
Hi, so you don't put that to bottom, like you have to put what my mom was saying, you like to the L. Do it a long time, then you just have to like that to fill, does around something. So you can see that around a part. Are you all done? You just have to put like engine, so you don't even see. It's just like you can put this here. Oh, I don't need to paint your door too. Oh, it puts stickers. Yeah, that's awesome.
This might be different than what you're used to, but there's this plastic cap on the oil filter housing. We'll take that off. I believe it's 24. The closest I had is a 15/16. Probably able to get my hands. Yeah. Okay. So here we go, hands. And then I'm gonna get some shop towels ready. Towels at the ready. I don't know drippy it's gonna be. Okay, so this is the oil filter. This is what we're gonna be replacing. We'll hang on to this cap, but the filter, and then there's a little O-ring right here. And our filter should come with one. New filter. Then the top. This one, I forgot to film it, but the old one, it just pops out. You just gotta pull kind of hard. The filter did come with a new O-ring. So what I'm gonna do is just take some of the oil that was in the top, oil it up, and then take this old one off, and then put this one on. So O-ring off, and then that new one, the filter down. Ooh, use the filter. That new one's just gonna stretch around. All right, there we go. New top, new filter, or not new top, new O-ring here. And then that guy just pops in, like so. And then we will put this new filter back in and then fill her up with nice clean oil. Another thing is you don't want to try to do this right after you park. If your car's been running for a minute, all of this is going to be pretty hot. So you're going to want to let your car sit for a little while. I would say probably 30 minutes to an hour. Now the other important thing is where you're putting your oil. Now the dipstick is where you check your oil levels, making sure it's clean and everything, but this is where you're going to put your oil. Make sure you're not putting it somewhere else, like, I don't know, your windshield wiper fluid or something like that. It should be labeled engine oil, as well as the viscosity that you should be using. I know there's some different people like to use different kinds of viscosities based on their own opinion and usage, but I always go with what the truck itself recommends. So what we'll do, this is finger tight, but I'm going to tighten it down a little bit better with the wrench, and then we'll use our funnel, get this open, and get clean oil in. So this is where you're going to put your oil. Again, using a funnel is very helpful, especially if you're pouring from a larger bottle like I am. Just make sure it doesn't tip. I have a big jug of oil here. So what we want to do is pour most of this. Now it has a little indicator on here. I'm going to put most of this in there, and then I will pull the dipstick to see when we hit full. And then I'll let the truck run for a little bit, probably like 5-10 minutes. Check for any oil leaks, and then check that dipstick again to see if we're full. Replace your cap. Nice and tight. The last thing that you're going to want to do after changing your oil, getting everything cleaned up, is resetting your oil life. Okay, so you're going to turn it to run, but don't put your foot on the pedal. Don't turn the engine over, just hit run. Lots of beeping. Okay, so oil life. And then what you'll do is you will just hit, you'll hold OK. There you go, 100%.